Hey everyone, I'm Curtis,
And I'm Shank.
and you're listening to the Good Buds podcast.
Let's get knocked out.
Welcome to the Good Buds podcast, the show where good buds smoke good buds and talk about them. This is episode 18, airing Monday, December 14th, 2020, on Spotify, YouTube, Anchor, Google Podcast, Apple Podcasts, and many more. Thanks for joining us.
This episode is brought to you by an actual sponsor.
What?
Seriously, guys, two amazing companies have hooked us up as brand ambassadors. We would like to personally thank My High Shop and LumaSpot for being our awesome sponsors. I'm sure all of you know that Christmas is just around the corner and COVID has made shopping online way more appealing. If you have a fan of this cannabis in your house or your life, you can hit up our link down below to My High Shop and use our code GoodBudsCurtis to get a bitchin' 35% discount and
me.
free shipping. Yeah, that's Curtis. And free shipping. Or, if they're fashion-oriented and love to be lit, send them over to LumaSpot for some of the brightest and coolest clothing I have ever seen. Use our affiliate link in the description and our code GoodBudsPodcast at the checkout for a sick 50% off and free shipping, with the added bonus of them giving us money to support the podcast. Thank you so much to both of these awesome companies for this opportunity, and thank all of you for listening to me with this long-winded ad read. Now on with the show.
Thanks again to My High Shop and to lumaspot.com. We really appreciate both of you. And again, guys, check the links down below. Not only do you get really cool merchandise that you can pay for, really cool free shipping, everything like that, good discounts, you're also helping us out.
They're awesome.
So Shank, how you doing today?
Oh man, I'm doing fantastic. I was just doing some work for the podcast there. We got some exciting stuff going on, as you know, and the audience is, going to find out. And, we were coming close to the end of the season, so we're in high gear. Just, we're all busting our butts working. So that's pretty much how I spent my day, man. How about you?
Oh yeah,
I know you were
pretty much
busy.
pretty much same thing. Getting some new assets and some new stuff together for podcast for end of this season, starting the next season. We're trying to work up some giveaways and some other stuff to work on. So if you want to stay in tune with any of that, be sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and all that stuff. And we'll keep you in the
follow us
loop.
wherever applicable.
Exactly. But other than that, I've also been working my normal job. Still got to work during COVID, but getting by with what I can do. One thing that does kind of suck though is my shoes were kind of falling apart for work. They were kind of starting to do that talking thing where the sole and the actual shoe start separating, and it looks like it's a puppet.
I hate that, man. I had a pair of shoes back in the day do that to me when I worked at a pizza joint. I think I have a picture on my Facebook floating around of me standing there with my shoe flopping like an idiot, and I hate that, man.
Oh yeah,
it sucks.
Always sucks. So, and especially when you're working, you don't want to trip, fall, or anything like that. So, had to go out and get some new shoes. So I went to Payless. Now, crazy thing is, they started selling a brand of shoe that is a non-slip work shoe that is specifically designed for people who are into metal music and rock music.
Oh, hell yeah, man. That's fucking awesome.
Oh, yeah. I'm really into that kind of music, so, fits me perfectly. So I picked up a pair of those.
Yeah.
They're pretty cool. Pretty cool non-slip work shoes.
Yeah, man. I'm really into metal too, man. Like, what are they called? I might try to find a pair and pick them up.
They're called Slipknots. Anyway, be sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you like what we're doing, check out our Patreon page. We have 6 tiers available, including bonus content and access to our private Discord channel.
That's absolutely right. We would love if you could go there and check out our page and just consider donating to the show. Now, let's get into the reviews.
Good Buds Review, Good Buds!
So, Curtis, what are you burning today?
Well, Shank, today I am burning on some, passionately packing Purple Punch. Now, this Purple Punch is very, very, very nice. It is a indica strain, and it comes from 2 other indica strains that a lot of people would probably be familiar with. It's a cross of Granddaddy Purple and Larry OG. So very nice for people who are common affiliates of marijuana. It's a very
Well, I've heard of Granddaddy Perp before, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a very like the nugs itself are very light, but they're semi-dense. Like there's some give to it, but they hold together pretty well. I think it's a really nice. It's a really good minty green. But the thing is that I'm having trouble with is I can't tell if the nug itself is mint green, or if it's just the copious fucking amount of crystals that are on this bitch. Like it is coated. Like they're
It's painted in crystal.
like it's on my fingers. It's rubbing off. Like even just holding up a nug, I can see the fucking crystals falling off like a salt shaker. Like just
Oh no, hold it over your bowl.
here, I'm holding it back over my jar, but just tapping it, it's fucking snowing,
Oh man,
and
that's awesome.
it's beautiful. And on top of that, like on top of all of that, it has these nice little specks of purple that are just peeking out every little other corner. You know, obviously the granddaddy purple, some of that's gonna come over. So you
Yeah,
definitely
you got purple. You got purple in your name. You better have purple in your weed, man. I mean, I'm just
absolutely. So you can definitely see the little specks of it that come through. And on top of all of that, it has this very vibrant, almost neon orange colored hair to it. And it's not a lot of it, but the ones that are out are noticeably there. Very vibrant, very nice. Yeah, I mean, overall, it's a really good looking weed. Just all the colors and everything condescending with itself. In terms of the scent, oh, okay. So the scent is a fresh, floral yet sweet. It's got these very, floral and sweet aromas essentially. It has an almost grape scent with it, like kind of fruity, but it kind of moves a little bit deeper, like kind of starts smelling more grape and more, but also kind of more artificial. So it kind of moves from like regular grape to almost like a Kool-Aid grape smell,
Nice.
which is really
I love
nice.
Kool-Aid grape.
And it does have this slightly woodsy scent at the end, so kind of just smells like, going camping and fucking drinking some grape Kool-Aid.
Yeah, mixing up some grape Kool-Aid while you're out camping.
Oh yeah. Very nice.
Don't use
Very
pond water.
stank, very good smell. I can't wait to try it.
Nice, man. Nice.
But
Fantastic.
but why don't you share with the lovely folks today what you have to smoke today?
Well, this week's episode, I am smoking Black Cherry Punch.
Wait a minute, that
That's
sounds
right.
familiar.
I know, right? Do you know why?
Why is that?
Because your strain is one of the parents of my strain.
Son?
Yep. Son. Yeah, so basically what happened is Black Cherry Pie and Purple Punch met each other at a dance one day. They fell madly in love, got really, really drunk, and had sex behind a dumpster because in-house genetics wanted to film it. And it made a really good strain of weed, apparently. So yeah, like they
You're
grew
telling me
this-
in-house genetics profits off of... I'm kidding.
No, in-house, or the cancel culture. No, but it's beautiful strain, man. Honestly, this strain, it's dark green with these nice, beautiful kind of orange hair all over it. Very, very slight hints of purple, not really noticeable. Like, but
Just those
if you look
couple
really
that
close,
peek out with a light
yeah, if you
or
look
whatever.
really close, if you look really close, you can see it there, but it's not super prominent. But beautiful looking nugs overall, fair size, not huge, but definitely not the smallest nugs I've smoked on the podcast, and they're fairly tight, but they're also fluffy. So when you bust them up, they expand into a beautiful bouquet of awesomeness. And speaking of bouquets of awesomeness, now Curtis, you remember last week when I opened my jar and I recoiled in horror?
Oh yeah, your weed last week was absolutely terrible smelling. Apparently,
It did not smell. The high was great.
Go
The
check it
flavor
out.
was-
Episode 17.
Yeah, the flavor was interesting and good. The high was excellent, but the scent, oh my! But this one, it is sweet, sweet, fresh cherries, my friend. No rotten fruit this week. Like
Very nice.
nothing, man. Fresh cherries, man. So it's so much better than last week. Honestly, opening it up, you get this really strong floral and fruity smell with a slight hint of like a skunky undertone in there. that just kind of adds a nice musk to the nug. Like, it gives it a really nice kind of like musky tone over top of everything. But frankly, it smells really nice compared to last week. I can't stress that enough. It's very cherry oriented, and that's the only really front smell. Like berries and cherries is pretty much the only thing I smell in the front. Obviously, you guys can see the pictures of these if you're watching on YouTube, right floating next to our heads. But if you're not on YouTube, you can check us out on Instagram and see all of these nugs hanging out in picture form there. We'll probably post them all for your beautiful viewing pleasure, as well as some miscellaneous memes. But that said, I think, Curtis, should we try them out, brother?
I absolutely 100% agree with that. I got a bong packed right here, and I got my lighter. How about you, sir?
I do as well. Yes, sir. My bong is here, and it is packed, and my lighter is prepared.
All right, then you bros know the deal. Let's taste them out, bro. Lighter's out.
Taste.
Let's blaze it. Toke skaboke.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Ooh. My. Curtis, well, I try not to die over here. How's it treating you? How's it treating you, brother?
Well, for me, it is a very sweet, very smooth hit. The taste is heavily... It starts with this very nice floral push at the beginning. Whew. It's very potent because, like I said, there's a lot of crystals on there, and all of that is pure flavor. So yeah, it's got a slight, it carries over slightly with the grape flavor and that slightly fruity taste to it. But it's weird because there is a surprise citrus that kind of comes out of nowhere at the end. And it's just like it's just like citrus approaching.
Surprise, Captain!
Exactly.
Yeah, no, that's
so
that's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, but all in all, it's tasting really nice. I'm liking it, and it's definitely an improvement over last week, which had absolutely no terpene flavor. Again, that's episode 17. Yeah. Go check it out after this one.
It was a very good episode. I enjoyed that one. I enjoy all of them, but I enjoyed that one too. So go check it out.
But how's yours tasting this week, Shank?
Well, now that I'm done, fighting for my life, I can see where this strain got its name. That toke just punched me in the lungs in the best way possible. It had this strong cherry scent and flavor that I was expecting fully, but a new citrus flavor, just like yours, citrus flavor, came out of fucking RKO out of nowhere, and it hit me with this really full citrus and cherry flavor, almost like some kind of really cool beverage. And it had it faded away after the massive punch to this really smooth, smoky aftertaste, almost like a nice, smoked item. Not just, and I don't mean a joint, I mean like food item, how they have that,
like a smoked brisket flavor? Or smoked pork,
like smoked brisket or ribs or smoked pork. Yeah, how it has that flavor, or smoked bacon, like that kind of thing. Right. It has that extra flavor to it. It has that smokiness to it that's just really quite nice, and it maintains a lot of the cherry taste from the smell in the aftertaste. So frankly, that was
very nice.
An amazing hit. I loved the hell out of that.
Now, another thing that I've noticed with mine, I don't know if you got something similar, but when I hit mine and when I exhaled, it was it didn't seem like it was very thick, but it was a kind of thick smoke on the way out, and it kind of lingered for a second, giving it that almost incense feel, and it smelled really nice, really sweet, really good. But then within a couple seconds after, it layered itself and it was kind of masking the vision, it kind of just dissipated. It dissipated relatively quickly, but when it was there, it was a nice incense-y feel.
Yeah, you're not wrong at all. It was very plumy. Like, when I blew it out, it was very much a plume of smoke, and I blew it towards my monitor. It kind of broke in every direction. I love doing that. It just kind of hits it and spreads in all different directions. By the way, I clean my monitor regularly, almost every time I use it, so don't be all oh, he's gonna have his monitor covered in resin, blah, blah, blah. No, I scrape it off and smoke it, you savages. But but basically, I know what you mean. It hit the monitor, and it kind of like just went, and it did fade away very quickly. But the smell and the texture of the smoke was really quite interesting. Like I think it would be one of those cool ones. You know when you're laying down in a room and the blinds are kind of cracked a little bit and the sun's coming through with like little laser beams.
Oh yeah. And then
And
you
you blow
blow
smoke
smoke through that and it's just like
Yeah. I feel like it would be a great strain for that, like blowing the smoke into those
Like
and just
that-
having it kind of
yeah, like that dawn/dusk smoking weed when the light is just barely angling in through. Oh, yeah.
100% exactly that. So that's 100% right. So obviously, with the way that mine tasted, I think it was absolutely amazing.
I think mine is tasting excellent.
So before we try them out, do you think we should probably check out some reviews online there, brother?
Absolutely. These are going to be the opinions of other stoners online, and we are other stoners giving our opinions to the onlines.
Opinions.
Absolutely. Now, with that being said, the general conception for Purple Punch seems to be that it's a very relaxing, happy, and euphoric high. It's kind of a couch-locking strain, so, find someplace comfortable and sit.
Yeah, good thing you're not going anywhere for about an hour, eh?
Exactly. Stick around.
Yeah.
It doesn't have very much of a head rush effect, so I should be pretty good to, continue talking relatively coherently. I mean, as much as I normally am. Sorry.
Yeah, we can only be so coherent, people.
Exactly. I'm as educated as I can be.
Yeah, this is all we can do. I swear.
And the other thing is, it has had some side effects of dry mouth. So,
Oh, if we were
kinda
unprepared, man, if we were unprepared, we would be terrified right now of them pasties coming at us.
Yeah, but you know for a fact that we are. We're always
We're
prepared.
never unprepared.
I got
We're
water,
always
and even
prepared.
this week, I got some chalky milk with me.
Chalky milk.
Chalky milk.
That's amazing. Awesome.
What's it saying about that black cherry punch, Shank?
Well, the black cherry punch, I read online, and the general consensus from all of the review sites that I could find were that it was a big, happy strain, quite relaxed strain, makes you relaxed, good humored, apparently makes people laugh a lot, very focused and very stimulated, which is kind of weird because usually for me, relaxed and stimulated are not necessarily. Actually, no, I can see a few situations where that would go hand in hand, but I won't talk about them right now. Not that kind of podcast. But what I've read also is that it has a high likelihood of dry mouth and a high likelihood of laziness. So, again, I have beverage sitting directly next to me. I have some Beppis hanging out on the shelf there. # not sponsored.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely good for that. And the laziness, I'm sure Curtis will keep me from getting too lazy with that button that he has installed in his chair that he presses, and it shocks me in the ass.
If
And
I'm
I
not
get
too lazy to
on the
use it.
podcast. Yeah. Yeah, we might get too lazy to use that. But frankly, it's awesome. I'm really, really glad that the general consensus online about both of these sounds pretty favorable, all right?
Oh, yeah. Very love it.
Yeah, I love reading Euphoria. It's one of my favorite things,
It's a nice word to see.
It is. It's a fun word. Euphoria. I mean, usually it's, that's pretty awesome, though. I think, we should try them out, though. Or smoke a joint of them, because frankly, that bong load was great. It's obviously already hitting me, but I think a joint would be better. What do you think?
I think that is a wonderful idea. Crap. Are you rolling the joints today, or?
Oh, dude, yeah. Actually, check it out, bro. I took this the speed rolling thing. So check it out. 1 second. And okay, paper's there. That's it. It's like you gotta get your what's that French word for it? When you have a mise en place, you gotta get that all. And hit that. There you go. What do you think?
What the fuck is this? It's all like bent out of shape and what? What the fuck is this, man?
I know, man. I'm really sorry. Normally, I use OCBs to roll them, and they're nice and just perfectly machined straight and everything, right? But today, I only had zigzags. Oh, sweet! It was my turn for a cricket gag. Anyway, what's it you normally say, Curtis?
I fucking hate this right now. But it's 4:20 somewhere, bros. We got our joints. Lighters out.
Mhm.
Let's blaze it, bros.
What is it?
Just play the fucking Jamaican music.
Hey, this is definitely joint weed for me. Oh man, Curtis. Yes, this is fantastic, brother.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm loving this. I'm loving this, dude. This. And so, what are you rolling out of today? Did you just use regular paper? Or are you using something fancy?
Today I'm using a fucking well, actually, funny enough, today I am using a zigzag. So.
Hey, what are the odds? That's fantastic. See, I didn't even know that when I wrote that gag. That's great. That's awesome.
Well, that's why
was
it made me laugh, because I actually had a zigzag paper. I probably should have let you in on that before we made
Yeah, that would
joke.
have been that would have been way funnier if I was in on that. Yeah, when we were in. But hey, man, it was
If you're
still funny
listening
as
on
fuck. That was good.
if you're listening to this audibly, these are little bits we do just to make it fun to have joints appear, because otherwise it sucks. If you're watching on
Yeah.
YouTube, you understand, but we have a little little animation thing to go with it where
Yeah,
the
like
stuff happens. So it kind of
yeah,
makes
and
sense.
I mean,
but it doesn't.
and honestly, I believe that with your imagination, you can picture it in your mind's eye. You know,
Look,
two
by that
handsome
point, you
fellas,
should be
one
high
of them
enough
green
that it
and
makes
one of them
sense.
purple, and the green one, who's really handsome. Some would say the more handsome of the two, but other people would argue he's ugly as fuck. Rolls a joint really, really quick, and then they're both. Then the other one's like the really handsome one on the other side. The purple one says, "What you know?" Just picture that in your head.
That's funny.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's a good mental image. And if you don't want to picture it in your head because you're lazy, like us, go to YouTube, check out our page, link down there, down below. Doesn't matter what site you're looking on, it's right down there. And you can go to our website or YouTube and check it out. Looks really cool. Curtis puts a lot of hard work into those videos. I put like minimal effort.
Really counterintuitive. You just said we were lazy. Anywho.
No, we're so lazy that we'll work twice as hard so that we don't have to imagine things.
I like the way you're thinking, because it means I have to think less.
Exactly, right? Less thinking, more visualizing. It's amazing.
I can just see it now. But I'm tisk.
No, that's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. So, man, this strain is definitely a joint weed. I think tastes really good in this joint. Like that punch was too much from the bong. Like I find, unless I was taking really small bong rips, and I have a hard time doing that because why on earth would you take small bong rips? Then it kills me. It's gonna make me like cough my lungs up. But with a joint, I feel like I can just kind of casually puff away at it, and I get this amazing flavor, and it doesn't feel like I'm going to die or turn inside out.
Just puff, punch, pass, out.
Puff, punch, pass. Oh my god, yes. Oh my god, that's the new game. Hey, if we get to 1,000 subscribers, I will attempt to make that into a board game.
We'll make it on Board Game Simulator and see how it runs as a beta. And then we'll
hell yeah!
release
There's this bitchin' game on Steam. All of this next segment is going to be hashtag not sponsored, by the way, called Tabletop Simulator that Curtis actually made me privy to. I had no idea it fucking existed. And this thing is lit. Like it's cool. Curtis made fucking, what was that thing you made? So tell the people about the Guess Who game that you made. I mean, aside from the bugs, leave out the bugs.
It's not.
Just make it sound awesome.
So it's not exactly that I made it. I got the idea from Rooster Teeth. They came up with it for their company, so I figured might as well do it for something else.
Let's steal it.
So
I mean, let's shamelessly steal this for our company. Yes, internet.
So what we did is,
love you, Rooster Teeth. Fucking awesome. I'm subscribed.
Exactly. So anyway, I made essentially a Guess Who board that was a whole bunch of different video game characters, and we essentially got to pick one, and then it was playing Guess Who with the video game characters, but you could only do it using personality traits that you think that video game character would do. Like, you couldn't use any physical descripting features. Like, are they male? Are they female? Do they have a mustache? You had to use, like, would this person help you cross the road? Would this person, file their taxes. And we
Would
now it makes sense
when
Rooster Teeth
would this
did
person
it.
try to find a way to sneak around, or would this person try to find a way to like fight their way through?
Yeah,
Like that
Rooster
kind of
Teeth
thing.
had a good idea because they obviously knew the people they were doing it on, but with this one, it's like we pretty much had to figure out: do we honestly think if these video game characters would do this or not?
Yeah, I know it was kind of hard because frankly, like some of the things are pretty ambiguous. Like, and some characters are very ambiguous. Like Link, I mean, he's a good guy, but I have personally like taken chickens and thrown them off of cliffs. So,
Right.
I mean,
Moral
it's
compass.
that whole actually shit. You know what it reminds me of? In an earlier episode of the podcast, I think we talked about it, but ludonarrative dissonance. When basically, like, say for example, the Uncharted series, for example, right? Now that's a great one to do it for. And so what it means is that Drake is a good guy. He's like the main character. We're rooting for him. He's the good guy. We feel for him. We sympathize with him. He's the main dude, and he's in cutscenes and in story, he's a fairly peaceful guy. He just wants to do his fucking job and go home, right?
Right.
And like, but then you play the game and you literally spend 2/3 of the game shooting random people, like just murdering random people. Now these people are just doing their jobs. And the later games made it so that you could sneak around a little bit more.
Right.
You could still sneak through some sections and everything else, but the earlier games, you straight up had to murder your way through people. And because he's the good guy, we don't see it as a bad thing. We don't see all of these random people dying as a bad thing because it's something called ludonarrative dissonance. It's because if you're rooting for the person, you don't necessarily see all of the bad actions that they do as bad actions, and you work harder to justify them, right? So, like, like McClane in Die Hard. First of all, best Christmas movie ever. Anybody who says otherwise can go fight a metal pole because I don't fight people, and it would be really funny to see you fight a pole. But that movie, like, when, spoiler alert for a fucking ancient movie, but when Gruber falls off of the top of the tower, that was completely unnecessary. The hero could have saved him, potentially, and had him sent to jail and everything else, regardless of diplomatic immunity or blah, 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 or whatever. There were legal ways to deal with the situation. But because the hero is the hero, we were all cheering when when they dropped Alan Rickman, rest in peace, off the top of that tower. And so it's like, it's one of those things where ludonarrative dissonance is one of my favorite things about just like media in general, like just the fact that sometimes, you can do bad things and it's absolutely fine because you're the good guy.
Right.
It's amazing, man. But like, yeah, and we talked about that in an earlier episode of the podcast. I remember that. And that's just really friggin' funny, man. But speaking of funny situations, I have a fucking funny as hell situation that I'd love to tell you about, but it requires somebody to say a certain something.
Oh, well, it sounds like it's time for some weed news worldwide.
That's right, Curtis. It is time for some weed news worldwide. And now this hilarious ass story I got for you, brother, comes from an international source. And this beautiful international source is Australia. Now, in Australia, all right, so check it out. Cops go to a place, bust down the door because they've received a 911 call.
Aye.
They find a group of Australian women ate homemade cannabis edibles and passed out whilst violating COVID-19 gathering restrictions.
Well then.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so a 24-year-old dude gave them some homemade, baked goodies and got them all baked. Pretty good. So essentially, 6 Australian women got cautioned by police after consuming homemade cannabis edibles and passing out all at the same address, obviously, which they shouldn't be doing because they didn't all live there, right? It's supposed to be family isolating in Australia. So basically, emergency services arrived at the home on Saturday to find 5 women from their late teens to early 20s unconscious. A 6th woman was ill from the cookies. So they got knocked the fuck out, man.
Ooh.
Like, seriously. Like, they got knocked out.
They got knocked
bad.
down under.
Oh, yes. Yes. Yes, they did. Basically, they greened out hard from these edibles. Obviously, nobody told them how to ingest the edibles and nobody educated them, so the situation turned out badly. Surprise, surprise. When you just tell people.
So all of them ate a single cookie?
So I believe all of them probably ate an entire cookie to themselves instead of sharing cookies, like splitting. Which, I mean, you shouldn't share a cookie because Ronas, but you can at least have a cookie each and just eat it in portions, like cut a portion out.
Right.
Eat that,
separate it.
wait a little while. Yeah. Like, take your time, pace yourself because edibles all interact at different paces. But obviously nobody educated them on it. If you're out there listening and you've never had edibles before, I can safely say right now, my best advice is only do small amounts at first. Just wait.
Large
see
amounts.
If it does anything.
High volume, high velocity, high quantity, all at once. Put them in you.
Okay, you can use the Curtis method, which is get a funnel. And hope you don't die, or you can use the Shank method and just kind of take your time, get baked as fuck, and definitely don't die. Do you? I will not judge you, whichever method you choose to do. These women
look,
took the
it's
Curtis
fight
method,
or flight
apparently.
at that point. So
yeah, apparently.
I don't know.
Man.
Anyway,
no, that's beautiful. That's that's beautiful. But yeah, so these women obviously took the Curtis method and they passed the fuck out. Emergency services got there, picked them up. The police cautioned all of them for violating the Australian gathering restrictions. They're not allowed to have that many people together.
right.
And nobody basically they just got told, hey, you fucking idiots, go home, right? As for the weed, it's not clear if anybody got charged. The cookies were taken, and they're going to be subject to scientific analysis. And by that, they're going to eat the fucking cookies. The police are going to eat the cookies, because the police are the ones who said that they're going to be seized. And air quotes, I'm doing the bunny ears thing with my fingers, will be subject to scientific analysis.
I wonder if these are edible cookies.
Huh. Do you think these are pod cookies? I don't know. Let's do some scientific research. Does anybody have any milk?
I know that one was. And yes, I do, Shank.
Yeah, yes, you do. Chalky milk. So essentially, a 24-year-old dude supplied the edibles to them. The cops found weed and drug equipment. I love that they call it drug equipment. I think they mean a lawn tractor at his address. Free my homie lawn tractor.
Free homie lawn tractor.
If you're out there listening to this right now, free homie lawn tractor, hashtag make it fucking happen. When 5 people lose consciousness because of something they've consumed, it is alarming, said Limestone Coast Superintendent Phil Hoff. Oh my god, his name is Phil Hoff. So check it out. You're standing with Phil Hoff, right?
Okay.
You're next to a field.
Okay.
Suddenly you look over, and there's a horse in the field, right?
Okay.
And there's a dude on the horse. And you're like, Phil Hoff, a horse! And Phil Hoff looks over and he's like, he didn't fall off. What are you talking about? Okay, bad joke. I'm gonna delete this in post. No, I'm not. But anyway, it's fucking stupid.
You don't even deserve the crickets.
I don't even deserve the crickets. That was just fucking stupid.
You don't even get the crickets. They don't even look at you.
This is the kind of high quality content you people come here for. But
I can't do this anymore. I can't.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, continuing. Though cannabis is widely consumed.
Okay. So
welcome back. I missed you. But what I was going to say is that essentially they're saying that it's legal for medical purposes. It's not legal for recreational use at all. So basically, it was pretty fucking stupid for this dude to be like, hey, ladies, have these cookies, and not tell them how to take them, because he got busted because they got busted. Like, their stupid asses didn't know how to take edibles, so they tripped out, called the cops or called an ambulance, and it got him busted. If he had have just taken 5 minutes and been like, hey...
ambulance.
Oh, they wouldn't have died, is what Curtis is saying. You can't overdose from edibles. You'll just pass out for a while and then wake up the next day.
Yeah.
But essentially, yeah, like it's one of those things where if he had have taken time to educate them about how to take them properly, then he would have been fine, but he didn't. So this is the moral of the story. Always educate people about things that you're more knowledgeable about in a nice way. Just let them know. If you know more about edibles, be like, "Hey, I've taken lots of edibles. This is my best advice." Like, joking around is fine, and funnels are okay every now and then. But for the most part, just kind of, like be smart and moderation with everything, like Curtis and I always say.
Yes, moderation.
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 It's very important.
Well,
so yeah, that's essentially that's my story, man. It's crazy. These ladies, they got busted.
Well, I got somebody else who got busted in my story. So,
I'm interested in hearing that.
So this takes us. We're going to be taken to Texas now.
Yeah.
So in Parker County,
your story's got to be bigger than mine.
Oh, everything's bigger in Texas.
Everything's bigger in Texas, man.
So a traffic stop that happened in Parker County resulted in an arrest and a seizure of a large amount of marijuana. Now, in Texas, marijuana is still illegal, so,
Yeah.
But let's
Come on,
see.
Texans, get out there and vote, my brothers. Get out there and vote. Brothers, sisters,
essentially,
ladies and gentlemen.
So essentially, a driver was driving, driver was driving on the East Interstate 20. Now on the side of the road, there was an emergency vehicle, with its lights activated, and the driver failed to, give him the right of way or move over, and it ended up speeding, right next to this emergency vehicle. So, extremely. So, he was pulled over by a police officer. He was stopped. He was traveling 70 miles an hour, so he didn't even slow down near it. At least in Michigan, the speed limit on interstates is like 70 miles an hour.
Well, and just for everybody out there, like, who drives, like, if you see an emergency vehicle on the side of the road, or you see even just a vehicle on the side of the road, you should at least slow down somewhat so that, if a person so happens to jump out in front of your car, you have more time to react.
Yeah, or, if you cannot get over to completely be away from the vehicle, then at least slow down.
Yeah, like, because, I mean, there are a lot of really preventable accidents, like, where people get hit on the side of the road and stuff like that. Like,
that's one
that if you just pay attention and slow down when you see a vehicle on the side of the road, you could save a lot of lives, especially cop cars and stuff like that, because they walk back and forth between their car and the
dude. Here in Michigan, it's extremely bad for that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, it's dangerous, man. It's dangerous.
One of the worst things here is pedestrian hit activity and stuff.
Yeah, but nobody wants to hit another human, right? So just everybody be safe. But yeah, no, that's wild, man. So, the fucking, the dude gets pulled over, he's speeding.
So pulled over. Sheriff Jeremy Vandegrift conducted an open-air search of the vehicle using a K-9 deputy, which gave a positive response to illegal narcotics.
Yeah.
It's a good doggo, but you did a bad...
Regardless, that's the thing, is the dog is just doing his job, man. Like,
you're
that's
a good
the thing,
doggo. You did a baddie, but you're a good doggo.
The dog is he's just doing his job, man. I don't think he should have that job. But, like, he's doing exactly what he should, and he's proud of himself. Dogs get proud. They're proud when they have a job.
So the deputy searched the vehicle, locating and seizing 107 sealed packages of marijuana and 21 vials of fucking THC liquid.
Oh my
Pure
God.
THC extract liquid. So the driver is a 44-year-old man from California, and he told the deputies he was transporting the marijuana to be broken down for illegal sale. He was charged with manufacturing, delivery of a controlled substance, and possession of marijuana under 2,000 pounds.
You got me. I'm taking this to sell it illegally. Yeah, I'm not even going to try to.
You got me. You're going to sell it illegally.
You got me.
Like, at least he probably, he maybe could have gotten off a little bit easier if he's just
I'm sure he got a plea. I'm sure he got a plea for just pleading guilty. Like, just for being like, listen, he probably got a great plea
but he could have said,
by just...
I know, but he could have said that he was traveling to a legal state for legal sales, and he just had to pass through Texas, and he had no intention of stopping with the illegal narcotics or something.
Yeah,
something along those lines.
Even then,
but
yeah, like they'd still
it would have
they'd
been the
still,
same
like,
result.
try to make the
I
charges
mean, it
stick,
would have been
yeah.
the same result, but maybe a slightly more lenient because it was meant to be in and out, not stay in
Exactly.
Texas. With the
Yeah,
intent of what
exactly.
he sounded like, it sounded like his intent was to stay in Texas, break it down, and sell it.
Oh, for sure. He was probably bringing it into Texas from a legal state. Well, he came from California.
Yeah,
So he
exactly.
brought it in from a legal state to Texas, and
So
he was going to sell it in
yeah,
Texas to make a shit ton of. Well, it's like here, back when, like, cannabis was illegal. I know it's like it's supply and demand changes the price greatly of weed, because in Cape Breton you used to be able to buy weed for about, like, it'd be like $15 a gram, but down further south in Nova Scotia you could buy it for $5 a gram, right? So what people would do is they would drive, like, to the southern part of Nova Scotia, buy a shit ton of weed for like $5 a gram, and then they'd go not to Cape Breton, but to Newfoundland. Because in Newfoundland, like way up north above Nova Scotia, you could get $20 to $25 a gram for just regular bunk ass weed, because they just couldn't get it. So in Texas, they could take that legal weed that probably cost them next to nothing and upsell it for like insane amounts of money, like in Texas, right? Especially that pure THC. Man, that shit would sell. Like, I'd buy some.
so anyway, his bond was set at $55,000, and as of
Oh.
Tuesday morning, he's incarcerated at the Parker County Jail.
Mm-hmm.
The total amount of marijuana seized was approximately 100 pounds and
Wow.
about 21 grams of liquid THC. So each one of those
Mm.
vials was about 1 gram, and each one of those bags was about 1 pound. Maybe a little bit
Wow,
less
man.
than.
That's amazing.
But yeah.
Like, that sucks. It sucks for him, but honestly, you know what? Like, as much as the dog did a bad thing by not just letting him get away with the weed, I'll admit that too. I'll agree with that. But at the same time, like, that dude should not have been fucking speeding. Like, it's we say it every time this shit happens with someone getting pulled over and getting all of their dank taken from them.
Don't do stupid
Don't
illegals at the same time.
just don't do it. It's fucking dumb. Like, just be smart, one illegal thing at a time, and that's it. And nobody will complain. Like, like, you can go, there will be no complaints whatsoever. Like, at all. Like, it's nothing. But I do know something that people complain about, Curtis.
What's that?
People complain about masks sometimes, but I have a situation. I have a situation here where we've got not the usual type of mask complaint.
Oh no?
Yeah, so basically, there's a dude at work, up in front of a bunch of people making a speech, and he's got about marijuana legalization, and he's got a mask on his face with images of marijuana leaves on it.
Oh.
Right? The speech he's making is about marijuana legalization. He's wearing a thematic mask. He's got a mask on. It supports what he's talking about because he's in support of what he's, right? So somebody complained about it. Now, do you know where this happened?
I'm assuming, well, you kind of already gave it away. I'm assuming this happened in Congress.
Yeah, dude, U.S. House of Representatives, man.
Well then.
Yeah. Yeah. So this dude, okay, so check it out. GOP lawmaker filed a complaint. A Republican lawmaker filed a complaint because a Democrat was wearing a marijuana mask during a House legalization debate. So what ended up happening was a formal complaint. Keep in mind, this is a formal complaint. This isn't like just bitching and moaning by the water cooler. Because this Republican representative, this Karen, decided that Democratic colleagues' decision to wear a face mask with images of marijuana leaves on it during a debate on the legalization bill said that the garment amounted to endorsement of a recreational drug use and diminished the seriousness and decorum of the House floor. Which is funny, because I frequently see the House floor and they're always screaming at each other and yelling at each other, so I really don't think that... Yeah,
aren't these the guys who read Aren't those the guys who read the entire Bible as a filibuster because they didn't want to hear the Democrats out at one point?
That is exactly precisely who you're talking about. Yeah, that's exactly what they did. They read the Bible cover to cover, specifically,
Just make
so
sure.
that they would not need to allow the Democrats to speak long enough to make it so that the bill that they were trying to pass would run out of time. But anyway, legality aside, basically what they say is what's been said as a quote is, legality aside, it's unbecoming for a House member to wear clothing that promotes the use of any recreational drugs on the House floor. Representative Jim Banks, Republican, Indiana, wrote in a letter to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Yeah, Nancy Pelosi. It's a clear violation of the House's code of conduct, which prohibits all behavior that does not, air quotes, reflect creditability or reflect creditably on the House. That is a dumb choice of verbiage. So anyway,
I mean,
this guy essentially,
if the bill is up for debate for marijuana legalization and the guy wants to wear something that supports that sounds completely fine. I mean, why didn't he complain about the bicycle that's on his jacket?
I know, right? I can't complain about the bike on his jacket.
And the fact that he's wearing a bow tie while everyone else wears a normal tie. And the one thing he wants to complain about is the mask.
Yeah, so this guy's name is Earl Blumenauer. Right?
Love it.
And he's a Democrat from Oregon, I believe.
Love it.
And yeah, so he's been a long time legalization advocate, and he decided, hey, I'm going in to talk about the MORE Act. We've covered that before in the past.
Oh yeah.
The MORE Act. So he was going in to talk about that.
Recently got passed by the House of Representatives, but we're still waiting on the Senate and everything else approval. But we're through the House of Representatives. So woo.
Yeah, they're working on it. They're working on it. So basically, he was talking about that, and he decided to be thematic and wear, wear the thematical mask of the marijuana leaves, right? So it's fantastic, right? So essentially, they did pass like Curtis was saying, after the Thursday's debate on the rule for considering the cannabis legalization, the House passed the bill itself on Friday on a 228 to 164 vote that fell mostly along party lines, obviously, because, they always have to stick with their party, not with what's best for the country.
Of course.
Yeah, so Banks himself voted, Banks, the Republican who complained, voted against legalization.
Of course.
And he basically says that whether or not members' dress is appropriate is decided by the Speaker. Banks acknowledged in his letter to Nancy Pelosi, first reported by the Daily Caller, but he added that the best solution is likely a blanket ban on stylized face masks. So, because, he's unhappy with this one, he said, everybody should just, nobody's allowed to show any kind of individuality at all. Because I don't like that guy's individuality, so I would rather nobody gets it. Which is a fucking wonderful way of taking your ball and going home. So
that's a wonderful way of sticking a ball down your throat and choking on it till it gets into your butthole.
Yeah, that's a. So essentially, yeah. But another quote is that we've got a blatant discriminatory drug policy. We've got a pandemic during which the Republicans have done nothing to help families and small businesses that are desperate. He said, and they're worried about a pattern on a mask. Get a fucking grip. I added the fucking for effect, but I think he wanted to put one there. I will put
in all fairness, during all this stuff, they also are debating legalization of marijuana. I get it can help. I get that there are the benefits and stuff, but
I know. It's like what
priorities?
They're just I know there's so much shit going on right now.
Like for me personally, I'm okay with it because, marijuana legalization, it's cool. Most of the people listening to this are probably okay with it because, it's a stoner podcast. If you've made it this far, what up? Thank you for tuning in. But you probably smoke and you're probably interested. But
yeah, check out
most other people in the world who either don't smoke or don't smoke as frequently are probably kind of like, marijuana is good and all that, but where's that second stimulus check?
Yeah, I know, right? I
But
know. It's like, and they've got. Well, that's the thing too. Is like they've got like that stimulus check would be infinitely easier to give if marijuana was legal federally.
no,
Like
you're
that's the
right.
thing,
You're
man.
right, and that's
Like
why
that's the thing is
it's
that's
a
why Canada. That's why Canada has CERB right now. Canada has two. You can get $2,000 every month. $2,000 per person per household every month through CERB if you got laid off because of COVID or you can't work because of COVID. Even if you're not fully laid off, if your hours have been reduced, you can use CERB to get your hours boosted to the point where you're making a living wage. Like, and this is for every Canadian, right, man?
and that's
this
fucking
is because
amazing.
Canada
For us, we have
got tax money from legal weed. Canada legalized weed, taxed the fuck out of it. Boo! It sucks paying taxes. Yay! We can get a paycheck if we need to. You know,
exactly.
like
Not to
we don't
mention
need to
you guys
rely
have
on
the free
AI.
healthcare. Yeah,
The-
we know
oh,
Canada's
And
fucking
that's available
awesome.
without.
America sucks.
But you can do that too. No, you can do that too. Like down there, it's possible. It's just like
We
some
know
states.
we can, but
Yeah.
guess who's not fucking doing it? The people who are
Yeah.
bitching about fucking face masks. So
I know,
anyway,
right? I know.
yeah,
People who are
it's-
bitching about
it's
Facebook,
all
and you're right. It is.
It's all
Yeah.
culminating. It's been a really
It's true.
weird year.
But
It's
the
been
cool
a
thing is
bad year.
we've seen good things happening too. We've seen like this has moved forward in a positive
Yes.
way, and like like we are seeing
But-
steps towards legalization. If it doesn't happen now, it's going to happen.
exactly.
like,
But on top
People
of all
fought
of this,
prohibition.
the goodness of marijuana getting legalized and all of that.
Yes.
But there's also
Yes.
the goodness of the marijuana itself. And I think it's getting close enough to the end of the year that Leafly has reviewed a whole bunch of strains, and Leafly has decided their strain of the year for 2020.
Oh yeah, they did. That's
So-
exciting, man.
Leafly's strain for the year of 2020 is, slight drum roll please that we'll add in post. I said we'll add it in post, but okay. It's
Less editing for me.
it's runts.
White runts?
Not white runts specifically, just runts. White runts being a subcategory of it. But runts in the United States has been voted as 2020 Leafly's strain of the year. This has been voted by, a combination of analysis, search results, trends, product availability, and just, user feedback on the strains and stuff. And 2020 was a really good year for runts, all the runts subcategories. And even if you check earlier in the year, we did an episode on white runts specifically.
We did white runts, and that's fantastic, man. Like that episode, it
It's
means a lot
good-
to us now.
Yeah, and we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, that was
Yeah.
episode 5 if you want to go check that out. But
It was good.
Yep.
Good episode.
just runts in general has
Yeah, white runts.
it has a fresh hybrid, or it's a fresh hybrid. It's won over the masses with gorgeous trichomes, great aroma, potent effects. And it was really good for me when I tried it. As of right
White
now,
runts.
so it's taken the Emerald Cup in 2019
Nice.
in Humboldt County, California.
Mhm.
It's, all over just been considered a really nice strain.
Yeah, so it's like
some-
fought for its spot on the top of the pile.
Oh yeah. Sometimes the color is a little purple, sometimes color is a little pink. Shades going very deep. It's very nice all around. Multiple
Nice.
comments have been put over and stuff. And just to let you know a couple of the other strains that were in the running, Thin Mint Girl Scout cookies, Sherbert,
Mhm.
which I just did that one on the last episode. Go check that out.
Mhm.
Grape Ape and Grapefruit.
Nice.
Then in the semifinals was Skittles and Gelato. Gelato I
Oh,
also
hey.
tried earlier in this
Yes, you
season.
did.
If you want to go check
Yes,
that
you
out. That was episode 2. And finally, leading at the top, White Runs. Like I said.
White runs. White runs. Seriously, guys. Okay, so I gotta.
The winner
like-
of Leafly was just Runs. But the reason we keep saying White Runs is because it has now become a very good inside joke for us.
It has.
So
Like
essentially
so
on
good.
one of these episodes, after it started with White Runs, and we started doing it afterwards. We started doing like flub ups, and we had to keep doing lines over and over again. Because even though we do this for the most part right off the rip, we do script a little bit. You know, we try to get the ad reads right. We try to get the reviews kind of how we want them to be. So while redoing this, it eventually came to the point where I would just start yelling out, "And in this episode, we're smoking White Runs."
Yeah, because we did the intro to that episode, the White Runs episode. We did the intro of that. I remember it was 11 times that we did it before we actually got the take that we recorded and kept going with, because we just couldn't stop laughing. We were like laughing about random shit. We just were talking about White Runs, the type that he was smoking, and we were just goofing off about random things. I can't even remember what it was. So now whenever we get silly or we flub something up or something, for a little while we'll just yell out White Runs, and we'll just be like, "This episode we're smoking White Runs."
Exactly.
And just that's what we do every time. So now every episode, when I accidentally flub a line, what you guys don't hear in the editing process is the White Runs. So the fact that Runts won that strain is like, it just kind of like reinforces the fact that
it's near and dear to us.
It means something to me. Like, you know, like that to me, like that's like, you know, it validates the fact that we chose a really good strain to fucking arbitrarily pick for our, you know, flub up
inside joke.
Exclamation inside joke, right? So now you guys are all in on that too. So White Runs. If you fuck something up and you don't want to swear, just say, "Today we're smoking White Runs." Like, it just, people won't understand what you're talking about, but then that gives you an opportunity to yell at them about our podcasts. Like, seriously.
Exactly.
Like,
be able to share with everybody.
Yeah, like, oh, speaking of sharing with everybody, I want to remind you guys right now, there's an affiliate link for 2 different awesome companies down below. Right, Curtis?
Absolutely. First is myhighshop.com. If you go there, you can get some stoner-related accessories, some vapes, some artwork, some other things, some chains, some clothing. It's all really cool stuff. And you can use the code
pipes.
And you can use the code GoodBudsCurtis at discount for 35% off and free shipping. It's really cool, really nice, and I hope you guys check that out. It's really nice.
Hell yeah.
Jake?
You can also check out Lumen Spot, which there will be an affiliate link down below in the description. If you go there and check it out, you can use our code at checkout to get 50% off whatever you buy on there.
And what's that code?
Free shipping. The code is Good Buds Podcast. You go on there, type that in at the checkout, go in there, be like Good Buds Podcast. Use that, baby. You will save 50% off, get free shipping, and on top of that, we will get money, like, for us to put towards the podcast to make it cooler for you.
Exactly.
So it's like win, 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 win,
it costs
win,
nothing
win,
extra.
win, win,
costs
win,
nothing
win,
extra
win,
to
win.
you, but you do help support the channel, which is really nice. You know. So we would love it if you guys could check out either of those. Christmas right around the corner, so get some shopping in or buy something for yourself.
They have some cool stuff. Seriously, like, when I went to the website, Curtis sent me the link. I didn't know a thing about it because they got a hold of us through Curtis. He's mostly the guy who deals with the sponsorships and stuff like that, right?
Right.
So they got a hold of Curtis, and they were all like, Curtis was like, "Hey man, check out this link. Tell me what you think." Everything else, I'm like, "Yeah, like this is," and I clicked on it. And man, my mind was blown. That shit was cool. I was like, all right, like it's lit. And Curtis was like, I know.
Yes, it's literally lit. It's like reflective, glowing clothing. Like, how do you go wrong with it?
Like Lumaspot, like, man. Like, it's
if
lit.
you scroll through Instagram and you've seen those ads for like clothing that like turns rainbows when you shine light on it, this company sells that. And you can get that 50% off with free shipping, like, using our link, Good Buds Podcast, out and checkout. Use our link in the description. Backpacks.
It's wild. Like, the amount of stuff on there you can get. And My High Shop, too, they've got, like, cool quartz pipes and friggin', like, all kinds of, like, cool t-shirts. And they have this brimless hat I'm gonna get. And it's, like, it's just so weird, man. I feel like I should just, like, I want to put it on my noggin.
We'll be rocking the merch for season 2. Don't worry.
Oh, you bet. We're putting our orders in. Like, obviously, Curtis already got his in. I'm getting mine in. Like, as soon, like,
our orders are in, but you know, with COVID and the holidays and everything else, be patient with shipping. But
Yeah. Be patient, people. You know, the postal workers are busting their asses right now. But
Everybody's working real hard now.
but season 2, we will be rocking the hell out of this gear, and it's gonna be awesome.
We'll be looking good. We'll be seeing good. And Shank, how are you feeling?
Man, I feel fantastic. Actually, I feel a little bit heavy.
You were supposed to say I'm feeling good, but okay, let's go with that.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. But heavy. I feel heavy. This strain definitely is making me feel like I've got a lot of weight in my chair, which isn't bad. I feel like if I was in a slightly more comfortable chair, I'd be a golden, but my chair is not the most comfortable chair on the planet. But it is nice, man. It's good overall. Very focused. I don't feel like I'm flubbing too much or anything. Actually, I feel like this is going to be a fantastically fucking easy episode to edit. It's great, man. Like
not overall, a whole lot of white runts in there.
No, not a lot of white runts in this one. Aside from the ones we meant to put in there. But frankly, it's great, man. Like, you know, I enjoy this strain. I do feel like I have to put a bit of effort into the focus that I have, but the focus is there. It's just it's one of those things where it's a power I have to activate right now instead of a power that's just kind of innate. Good though overall. How about you, man? How's yours treating you?
So for me, I'm definitely getting that nice relaxed feeling from it. Like, obviously I got my nice little gaming chair here, so I'm just relaxed back into it. Yeah, I don't feel like fucking moving, which is good. Like I said, I'm still focused, so I guess I'm just gonna sit here and play on my computer for 12 hours.
Yeah, sounds like a plan. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm feeling really good. It's really nice to my body. I don't feel any pain or anything. Not too much dry mouth, but okay, never mind. I've drinking almost a whole thing of chocolate milk.
The whole thing of Chucky milk is almost gone.
Yeah. So, okay. So Cottonmouth was a thing, and I was just too high to remember it. But
yeah, send Chucky milk.
So yeah, Purple Punch, pretty good strain.
Beautiful, man. That's awesome. I know. Yeah, man. That's absolutely beautiful. I'm glad it's treating you well. I do. You know, I do feel a little bit couch locked as well. I feel like, you know, though I do need to stretch my legs. My legs are kind of like doing that thing where it's like they're antsy to move. If I was in a more comfortable chair, I don't believe I'd get that feeling. So if you're out there and you try this strain, let us know. Hit us up in the comments. Frankly, we love to hear from our audience. Honestly, that's the thing is That's the thing. Curtis,
we love to hear from you, and we're not hearing enough from you, and we want to hear more from you so we can be like, hey, yo, we hear you.
Exactly, right? And you know, most of the comments that we get on our YouTube videos are those awesome YouTube porn chat bots that just randomly go into the comment sections of videos that are...
And it's fun for about 5 minutes, but it starts getting expensive for me, and we don't have that high of a budget right now.
Straight up. Like, I mean, that's the dead honest truth. We just, you know, we don't have the budget for that right now. We're going to need to, like, you know, quadruple... We've got rookie numbers compared to the numbers that we would amass if that kept happening. So we would love to see some comments from you guys so that, you know, just messages on our Facebook if you want to hit us up on Facebook. We love answering questions, talking to people. You know, like if you're interested in the podcast, you have a question about me or Curtis, no question is off limits. Some answers are. But
you can always hit us up on Reddit also. We got Good Buds, or the Good Buds sub.
Good Buds sub, yeah. Check it out. It's awesome. We have a ton of links down below for you guys that you can check out and just like hit them up.
We also have a Discord channel that you guys can just chill in there where we'll occasionally post stuff pop in there occasionally. You guys want to talk in there or just talk with other people in a community that we hope to amass? Then go ahead in there. We'll post some memes, some news stories.
It's pretty loosely moderated, so just don't be assholes. But so you can go there. We even have a private Discord that you can come into and just kind of, you know, chill out and just chat exclusively with us. If you go to our Patreon page and donate to us at the right tier, you can get hooked up with that sweet deal.
And you get to join the Discord server that we're in where you do the live podcast. So you'll be able to hear it live. You just won't be able to say anything to us. You'll be able to type in chat. We might be able to. We might see you. We might shout out your question. But
I would love that. I would love the hell out of that, people. Like, seriously, like, because, I mean, that's the thing, is we love talking to each other. That's why we do this podcast, because we're buds. We love talking to each other about random shit. But, you know, we also love talking to you guys about random shit. So it's really cool when, you know, you interact with us so that we know that we're getting, you know, reaching out to people. And, you know, we're not going to touch you because Rona's. We're going to keep our 6-foot distance. But we'd like to, you know, emotionally reach out to you. Like, you know, air high fives. Air high fives, people.
Exactly. And something else we can all do together right now. I have a bong pack, Shank. You got one more pack?
Oh, Curtis, you know I have a bong packed immediately, and it's already in my hands because you know what?
We're getting
I'm Psychock. That's right, I brought it back, bro. I bought it back. Oh, I was waiting all this time. I waited all the way until episode 18 to bring back the Psychock. No, I'm just fucking with you, man. I know we have this fairly well scripted at the end of the podcast, so I'm just grabbing my lighter and my bong, and I got this bowl ready. You go ahead, Curtis. Do your thing.
Okay, so since he's done rambling, bros, we got our bongs, we got our lighters. Lighters out. Let's blaze it.
Oh man, that is magnificent.
Oh,
that is so fucking nice, man.
So nice to actually have flavor to my weed again.
I know, isn't it? Like, I mean, like that's just like
it's
like,
just so good.
Well, last week was a weird episode, man. Last week, you guys check it out, episode 17. It was a really weird episode.
Exactly. Check it out after this one. I mean,
if you haven't already listened to it in anticipation for this one coming out, which I hope you have. But it's like, yeah, it's like stupid awesome, man. Like, you guys check it out. Check out this one, like, comment, subscribe, everything else. And yeah, I think we're running out of time. I think, Curtis. What do you think? How do you feel about it?
Yeah, fucking. I've been smoking on some Purple Punch today. Drink.
I've been smoking on that beautiful black cherry punch.
That's right. And I think we'll roll some for the road, bros. We're getting a little short on time, and we thank you very much for joining us, and we hope you join us next week.
Yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, smash that like button, yell at every single person that you see out in the street. Just tell them to come and subscribe to us. And thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
Oh, and check out our sponsors. Check out the links in the description.
Links in the description. Thanks, My High Shop and Loomis Spot. Later, buds.
Yeah. Later, buds.
White Runts.